I think that in looking at the groups that I do support actively and financially, they're mostly local, or if they're national or international, they have local offices. I can interact with the people that are working for these organizations, and I can be more actively involved, and I kind of can tell what's going on and where my money is being spent, yes, and how. Mm-hmm. Hope, I suppose. Yeah. You know, I think, and also the fact that I see improvements, I see advancements. If I didn't see any of that, probably I'd give up. But I see encouraging signs, so that's probably what keeps me going. And I also meet lots of interesting, smart people. That's fun. Well, the use and conservation and preservation of native plants, mm-hmm, is very close to my heart because I think it extends to so many other things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Such as providing wildlife habitat. So I've spent a lot of time and effort on that particular cause because it does extend beyond just the plants. Probably the latter. Yeah. Well, to start with, when I started it, I'm not a gardener. Mm-hmm. Haven't been. And at the time, it was a water conservation project. Oh. So I didn't really know anything about native plants. I actually didn't even know the term. So when I was researching drought-tolerant plants, I started to see this reference to native plants. And when I finally understood what they were talking about, it just made so much sense that I just got so into it, and it's just been growing ever since. Right, so right. I went from providing habitat for the birds, which was the impetus for the water conservation to start with, because I realized that we were draining our lakes, we were draining our rivers, the birds were having a struggle on their migratory paths, and I thought, well, I'll just do my little part. Yeah. To help the birds, and so the water conservation was it. And then I started providing habitat for birds and butterflies and bugs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, of course, the birds are, yeah, a passion. Yeah. But we've had we've had bobcats, and right from the start we were getting bobcats. They actually disappeared for quite a long time, yeah, because we feel that probably the rat poison that people use, right, was affecting them. But we just had a bobcat on one of our tail cameras about a month ago, so yeah, we're thrilled. And it was actually a collared cat that the Park Service had lost track of because the collar was not working anymore, but it had a tag in its ear, so it knew which bobcat it was. And we have it in our backyard. It was so thrilling. It does. We experienced that when we had our wildlife and nature photography gallery in Los Angeles. And initially, people didn't look at it as something you'd want to hang on your wall. But friends of mine started buying the art, and I realized that we were making an impression, making some inroads, and even I did myself. Prior to our having the gallery, I didn't think that it was, really something I wanted to put on my wall, but that has all changed.
Yes.
And as we were open for a longer period of time, we got more and more people, and of course the sales got bigger and bigger, and it was definitely an eye opener for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, first of all, it's a beautiful lake. It's a clean lake so far, and but it's very close to a large urban population. It's easy to get to, and so people need to get away from the city, and this is a really good place to do it. Yeah. It has very interesting wildlife, beautiful scenery, so I can certainly see why they come.
Yes.
Well, I think that people have to realize how important the place is, biologically speaking, and appreciate that. So I think a lot of education has to go on in that regard. I think we all have to understand that we need to protect what we have. And I think by educating ourselves about what we have here, we learn to love what we have, and you protect what you love. Well, I met Barbara King and really thought she was a dedicated, smart person. And that probably was the start of it. And she has hired dedicated, smart people all the way along. She's very interested and dedicated to her projects. So that is probably why. Well, I understand that people at other lakes and areas and other provinces and so forth are pretty excited about the app. So I'm excited that they're excited, and I see a pretty good future for this. It's easy to navigate, and once you've made your design, it's so clear that you can see it so clearly on the iPad that you're using. I think it's kind of exciting. I think that really helps a lot.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot easier
to be able to actually see the
plant. Yeah. Sure.
I would love to see more people using the native plants in their cottage front yards, and restoring the water's edge as much as possible. In the long run, obviously I want clean water and beautiful lakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've been known to say that we can save the world if we use native plants.
Absolutely. Agreed.